Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. Welcome to my bass video tutorial channel. This week's video is tap, double thumb, slap, bass, blues lines. That's a mouthful, I know. In the introduction, I played a song that I wrote many years ago called New Blues. And it is a blues form. And many people I played with, when I brought it to them, they all seemed to like it, and it felt good to them with the tight 16th note feel and that little break at the end with that mixolydian line going down. And I'm going to show you that bit by bit, and you can take parts of that and use it in other places, like that line, that mixolydian line on E7. The blues bass lines, I'm going to use double thumb with double pluck. And they're simple lines, but when you start using this technique, the lines kind of change without changing the notes. You get opportunities to pluck and pull and slap in different places, and it gives you a whole lot of latitude for different sounds. It's great. If this is your first time here, please subscribe. If you've already been here and haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Comment and like. I'd like to add, on my Patreon page, I have all of the notes and tabs for all the examples here, as well as backing tracks slow and fast using drums and piano. I'd greatly appreciate some support there, and in return I could give you some practice materials. This blues progression is in D minor. We got D minor, we got G minor, we got E7th and A7th. So the first four measures has this line that looks a little like this. So what this is a D minor scale, and what you're playing is you have the D on the 5th fret here. You're hammering on the E on the 7th fret, pulling off to the D, and then you pull off from the D to the C. So the first three notes are. Then we go. Theoretically, what we have here is the root, the 3rd, the 7th, and the 9th. All those notes work perfectly with the D minor chord. That's what we have so far. Now from the F, we pull off to the D, and then we pull off at the left hand to the C and hammer onto the D. Now what you do is you go up a 4th to the G minor, and you go up there for 2 measures and do exactly the same thing from the D string. And then back to the D string again. So let's go over that again a little bit. Now we go into the last part of it, going from E7th down to A7, and then it repeats the D minor phrase again. So this is the one. I like this. This is a lot of fun playing this, and it's a little bit of a challenge, but if you learn it, you'll enjoy it. This is the E7th phrase. So basically, this is kind of an E mixolydian scale, and sounds like if you play your E7th chord up here like this. So we're starting on a G sharp on the 13th fret of the G string, pull off to the F sharp, and then left hand pull off to the E, the root. First part. Second part. Second part would be C sharp, 11th fret, hammer on to the 12th fret, and then pull off to the open D below, and hammer on with the left hand to the A, and hammer on to the B. So we have, I'll play it from the start again up to where we are right now. All of those notes are out of the D Mixolydian scale, which works perfect with an E7th chord. Okay, now the next part. C sharp, 11th fret, pull off to the B with your ring finger on the left hand on the 7th fret, and then you go down to the A, pulling off with your ring finger on the left hand to the 7th fret on the A. So hammer on with the ring finger, left hand, 9th fret, A string, hammer on with the right index finger on the 11th fret, A string, which would be a G sharp, and then you pull off and you come way up here. Okay, this would be the 17th fret with the index on the D string, which would be a G, and then the 18th fret with your middle finger on the G string, a G and a C sharp. Let's go over blues lick number 1. I'll show it to you slowly, but before I do that, I'd like to show you the line as it were when I was playing with fingers. Okay, that was a line I wrote in Blues Bass Lines number 1, a book I wrote many years ago. And so I took that and I turned it into a double thumb slap and plucking type technique, which I use both in this line. The thing about using the double thumb and the double pluck is that you get to accent different parts of the line, maybe with a pop or with a up and down slap, and you can change the way this line sounds many different ways just by changing the techniques. That's what I love about it. But the line played with the fingers, there's not much you can do other than just accenting by hitting it a little louder. I'd like to break the line down now slowly for you. That's the first part of the line. So you have a down slap on the first beat on a G, 3rd fret E string, and then a pluck with the index finger on the 5th fret of the A string, which is a D. And so we have now. Then we have a pluck, or a pop actually, on the 3rd fret of the D string, which is an F. So now we have so far. The next thing I would do is I would play on the second measure. The line changes just a little bit by tying over a note so it lasts a full beat. Instead of an 8th note, it becomes 2 8th notes tied over. So like I said, you can accent any of those. I'll show you what I mean. This is blues lick number 2. I'll play it for you slowly, and then I'll break it down note by note, showing you the frets and right hand technique to use. I played it slow because I wanted to show you, when you're learning these, I really feel it's best to articulate as clearly as you can. Dig in, make the notes full and definite. Because if you learn to play it softly and lightly, it'll never, when you speed it up, it'll never really have that bite. So you have to kind of practice with the bite in the beginning. You can always make it softer and a little bit, softer later, but the challenge is to play it with the articulation. You could play it softly. And that may very well be your preference. Mine is, I like to push and make a definite beat that you can feel. But sometimes, it's not called for. And maybe when you want to put some mood into your solo or make it sound a little softer. So let's check that out. First beat. That will be up down slap. Actually down up slap. So 1 N, and then you have pop on the D, which is the 5th fret of the A string, pop on the F, which is the 3rd fret of the D string. So we have so far. Second part of the lick, on B3 you're hitting an 8th note rest, so the rest of it would be 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 2 and 3. 5th fret A string, D note on the A string, and then pop, hammer on from on the D string, 3rd fret F, hammering on to the G, 5th fret D. Okay, blues lick number 3. A little different twist here, but a lot of the same things I did in the first 2 licks. But there's something a little different, and I'll show you exactly what it is at this time. Now there. On 3 and 4 and, that would be a double thumb and then a double pluck. So it would be you're only hitting 1 note there. Down, up, slap, and then we have 2 Ds. Now you could hit those 2 Ds as 2 short notes. Or you can hit short note first, long note last. Turn it around. Long note first, short note second on the 4th beat. That concludes this video. I'd like to remind you once again, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. All these examples, the notation, tab, and play-along tracks at 2 different speeds are on my Patreon page. I'd greatly appreciate your support.